It was a stupid mistake to make. But it was right there on the counter with all the other Penguin books. You know, the little pocket edition with the paper covers? Well, all the others were detective stories. So naturally, I thought this one was a detective story too. So I bought it without really looking at it carefully. You can imagine how mad I was when I found it was Shakespeare. I don't see why the Penguin Books people had to put out Shakespeare plays the same size and everything as detective stories. Well, anyway, I got myself real comfy in bed that night, all ready to read a good Agatha Christie or something. Hercule Poirot is my favorite detective. I read a story that completely fooled me. It was the old family doctor all the time. Oh, but now there wasn't a scrap of anything else to read in the whole room. So I had to read Macbeth. And I didn't like it. In the first place, I don't think he did it. I mean, I don't believe for a moment that Macbeth killed the king. And I don't think the Macbeth woman was mixed up in it either. You suspect them the most, of course, but those are never the guilty ones, or shouldn't be at any rate. Don't you see? It would spoil everything if you could figure out right away who the killer was. Shakespeare was too smart for that. I've read that people never did figure out Hamlet, so it isn't very likely that he should have made Macbeth as easy as it seems. Now, I think it was Macduff. Well, I didn't figure it out right away. At first, I suspected Banquo. And then, of course, he was the second person killed. Now, that was good right in there, that part. The person you suspect of the first murder should always be the second victim. Well, after the second murder, I didn't know who the killer was for a while. I thought maybe Malcolm and Donalbain, the king's sons, they fled right after the murder. That looks suspicious. Too suspicious. When they flee, they're never guilty. You can count on that. Do you remember who discovers Duncan's body? Macduff discovers it. Then he comes running down the stairs and shouts, "Sacrilegious murder has made his masterpiece, and confusion is all over the king," and all stuff on and on like that. All that stuff was rehearsed. Now, you wouldn't go on and on saying stuff like that offhand, would you, if you'd found a body someplace? Of course not, unless you had practiced it beforehand. My God, there's a body in there, is what an innocent person would say. They've got to keep surprising you. Now, take the banquet scene. How do you account for Macbeth's guilty actions there, when Banquo's ghost came in and sat in the chair? There wasn't any ghost. A big, strong man like that doesn't walk around seeing ghosts, especially in a brightly lit banquet hall with dozens of people milling about. Macbeth was shielding someone. Who was he shielding? Mrs. Macbeth, of course. He thought she did it, and he was going to take the rap for her. The husband always does that when the wife is suspected. Oh, and the sleepwalking scene? The same thing, only the other way around. That time, she was shielding him. She wasn't asleep at all. Do you remember where it says, "Enter Lady Macbeth with a taper"? That proves it. People who walk in their sleep never use lights. They have second sight. She wasn't asleep at all. She was acting guilty to shield Macbeth. Say, would you like to borrow that Macbeth? You might want to look it over tonight. I have a feeling you never really read it.